Hey guys, welcome back to I'm an Actor, Not a Therapist. I'm Sammy. So, what's going on? So, I wanted to talk today about backsliding because something that people don't generally talk about when we talk about a healing journey, right? Because we're all on this healing journey. We all want to be better people than we were the day before, or the year before, or 10 years before. We want to just grow every day, right? And in order to grow, we need to heal from whatever it is that has happened in our lives. Um, but nobody really talks about the backsliding that happens while you're in the process of doing this. And I have I've caught myself in the past 2 or 3 weeks backsliding into some of my old patterns, some of my old behaviors. I feel I should throw a trigger warning on this conversation only because I'm going to talk about body and weight and food and things like that. And that's not going to be the whole conversation, but there is part of that in the conversation. So I'm just going to throw that out there before we get started on the conversation, right? So, you know, life happens. Life is happening. Good, bad, ugly, and different. And life throws you curveballs like we talked about last time. And I've been thrown a curveball, a life curveball recently in the past 3 weeks. And when I first got confronted with the curveball, I cried harder than I have in a very, very long time. And a friend of mine said, "You are allowed to cry. You are allowed to mourn tonight. Tomorrow, burn the house down. Tomorrow, we're going to start fixing things and we're going to start setting you up so that if this curveball smacks you in the face, you're just bruised. You're not, brain damaged or anything like that, right?" And I went, "Okay, cool." So I had my night, had my cry. The next morning I got up and started burning the house down. You know what I mean? And after that day, every day I've been working towards, making sure that if this curveball really hits me in the face, it's not going to leave as big of a mark as it would if I was not preparing myself the way I am. However, in the meantime of all this, I have not, full disclosure, I have not really been to the gym as often as I was when I was solely focused on my goals, because the curveball coming towards me is coming towards me a lot faster than I'd like it to. And the way that my brain compartmentalizes things sometimes is that it becomes solely focused on one thing, not to the point of hyperfixation, although I do hyperfixate on a lot of stuff, but to the point of, this is the goal I've got, and I'm going to wake up every single day and hit this and try to hit this goal. And then a curveball happens, and if it's something like what I'm experiencing right now, my entire focus shifts into, let me get this done. I will get back to the other goal later, because this one is going to smack me in the face and it's going to hurt. So unfortunately, I have not been to the gym in probably a week and some change. because of life's curveball that it decided to throw at me. And look, I'm not sitting here making excuses. I made my bed. I'm laying in it essentially right now. Because when I went to the doctor the other day, I found out I gained some weight back that I had lost. Not a huge amount, mind you, but enough to make me go, okay, what are we doing? What decisions are we making? What are we doing? You need to retrain your brain to work on more than one goal at the same time again. Because as much as I consciously understand what my brain is trying to do in trying not to get completely brain damaged by the curveball if it hits me in the face, at the same time, I had other goals before life threw that curveball at me. And I have to train my brain to be able to deal with all the curveballs that get thrown at me, as well as the goals that I have for myself. And I know that that's something that I've lost sight on. I'm working on books that I was reading. I haven't picked them up. I was in the gym pretty much every day, at least 3 to 5 days a week. I was in the gym. I was watching what I was eating. I have a trip planned for the early part of next year that I was really looking forward to, that I'm saving up all my money for, that I'm still planning on taking. But the planning behind it has kind of wavered because of the curveball, right? And here's what I mean by backsliding, in that without realizing what I was doing, because I've never been one of those people that uses food to cope with stuff. Have certain things food-wise made me feel better? Yeah, of course. I'm never going to turn down like macaroni and cheese. I'm never going to turn down, a cheeseburger or something like that, makes me feel good, that I enjoy. But I've never really used food to cope. It was just always in the background somewhere. And I'm not going to get into all of that stuff because that is a conversation for a completely different day. However, in the meantime of this curveball and me trying to regain my grip on my life, I went grocery shopping because I still gotta fill my fridge. I went grocery shopping, and I'll never forget it. And I have a picture of this. I might actually put it up for y'all to see. I went grocery shopping right after the curveball got thrown at me. And I put things in my grocery cart and brought home things that I have not touched, and I cannot even tell you how many years. The Christmas tree cakes that are out right now for Christmas, frosted mini wheats. I found edible cookie dough, which I'd never tried before, so thought I'd give it a try. And then after the edible cookie dough was gone, I bought more edible cookie dough. And then I bought a tube of cookie dough and realized that it too was edible. And I broke it all up. I made my own little edible cookie dough balls and put them in Ziploc baggies and put them in the fridge. And then when I realized that I, could essentially just eat the cookie dough, that's what I did. I ate the cookie dough on the log, sitting in front of my television set. Let's talk about backsliding, right? Like, that is probably the worst habit I could have gotten myself into. And I didn't even realize that I was doing it. And I think that I was using it as a coping mechanism. For the first time in my life, I was actually using food as a coping mechanism, and it felt so weird. At the same time, though, I was eating things that were not unfamiliar to me. But I have spent the last year and some change making very significant diet choices that are much better for me. The last time I went to the doctor, I had lost a significant amount of weight, and the doctor said to me, "Well, how did you do that?" She was super proud of me. She's like, what did you finally change?" And I said, "I stopped drinking 2 Diet Cokes a day. I went down to 1. I started drinking more water. I don't buy chips anymore. I don't keep that stuff in the house anymore. Like little tiny adjustments. I don't eat Eggo waffles. I'm mentioning a lot of brands out here, and I'm putting it out here right now. These brands are not bad. I just misused them. And there's a big difference. I misused these brands. They did nothing wrong. So I don't want anybody coming after me saying, "Oh my God, you said something bad about Eggo." No, Eggos are lovely. I love a good Eggo. But nobody needs to eat 4 Eggos in a day for breakfast and dinner. Nobody needs to do that. But that's what I was doing. Um, and, you know, I had stopped doing that. I had worked with a nutritionist for a little while, and he helped me retrain my brain. I'm in a fabulous, fabulous community of people that we all struggle with the same things, and we all always have each other's backs, and we're all always there for each other. And then there I was, sitting on my couch, eating cookie dough right out of the damn tube. And I remember I was talking to my friends, and I said to them, "I think I'm using this as a coping mechanism, and I'm completely backsliding." So I said, as soon as this tube is gone, because I will not throw out food. That's unless it's gross and a science experiment in the back of my fridge or the back of my cabinet. I have a real problem tossing good food away. You know what I mean? I'd rather have people over and serve it to them instead of eat it myself. Um, I said, as soon as this is gone, I can't buy another one, because I could see it slowly becoming a problem, because it wasn't just about me eating a tube of cookie dough, because let's face it, we've all eaten a tube of cookie dough. Like, don't even lie. We've all eaten a tube of cookie dough. It was the tube of cookie dough gave me permission to drink 2 sodas. Well, the 2 sodas gave me permission to eat macaroni and cheese, and the macaroni and cheese gave me permission to. It was a very big spiral effect, very big backsliding into the diet I used to have. And again, we're not going to sit here and talk about my food choices. But knowing what I know now, having been through the things that I've been through with the community that I'm part of, and being able to recognize patterns in myself, I was able to catch myself and say out loud to somebody, "Please don't let me do this again." And to be very clear, I'm not holding them accountable for my own decisions. They're not going to stand in the grocery store with me and, steer me away from the refrigerator section if I walk past cookie dough. It's not about that. It's about the fact that I said out loud, "Hey, this needs to stop. I need to stop doing this. This is not good." The lack of sleep that I've had, staying up till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning when I have to work the next day. The being very quiet and feeling like I'm taking up space that I shouldn't take up again. This inability to ask for help when I need help. the things that I've worked so hard to build up in myself, I've realized how far in the last 3 weeks I've backslid. And it was in that moment that I was sitting on the couch looking at a half-gone tube of cookie dough that I said to myself, this needs to change. You gotta pull yourself up again. You cannot let yourself go back to what you were, because that is not going to do you or anybody else any darn good. It's just not. You know what I mean? It's just not. So as of tonight, I finished the tube of cookie dough. And I am not buying another tube of cookie dough. I won't do it. I don't think I could at this point. I have not touched the Christmas tree cakes. I don't really plan on touching them. I plan on serving them to guests. Maybe I'll have 1 or 2, but that does not mean I need to sit there with the box. Over this past 4 days, well, 3 days, by the time you guys hear this, it'll be 4 days. Over the past 4 days, I have allowed myself to sleep. My body has forced me to sleep, which it hadn't done in a very long time. My caffeine intake is going to always be my caffeine intake. Like, I need that stuff to open my eyes. And if I have one vice in this entire freaking lifetime, it's going to be caffeine. Pry it out of my fingers. Like, don't get between me and coffee. You want to hear good morning voice, don't come between me and my coffee. But I've realized that in some aspects, I'm kind of not entirely back to square one, because I think that in recognizing what's happened, I'm able to move forward from it. It's me having to take a breath, look at my friends and go, I need help again. I need help again. This is what I need. This is where I am. Because I'm in a Discord group, and, part of this community, I know every day we do daily journals and stuff, daily affirmations, daily journals. What are you grateful for? Blah, blah, blah. And I've talked about kind of in a little bit more detail what's kind of been going on with life. But I have not really talked about the fact that I have backslid in a lot of aspects. Because it was something that, I thought I could handle by myself. And in a lot of aspects, I can. I absolutely can. I have learned the coping tools between the community and my friends and the fabulous therapist that I have. I have some coping mechanisms. I have enough coping mechanisms to look at myself in the mirror and go, in a week you ate a tube of cookie dough. Let's take stock here, sweetheart. What are we doing with ourselves right now? When was the last time you talked to this person? When was the last time you told somebody that you might need help? When was the last time you had a full conversation with somebody and it wasn't just memes and pictures? When was the last time you had a connection with somebody? And when I couldn't come up with a whole hell of a lot of answers, I took a very long shower, because that's something else that I'd been forgetting to do. I know, TMI, apologies all around to everybody on that one. But I took a shower, took a breath, and I went, okay, let's start rebuilding. How are we going to rebuild? What are we going to do? And I have not come up with a full answer yet, but I'm working on it. And, every day I get up and I talk to the same people. They know who they are. I talk to the same people every single morning, every single day throughout the day. And, we laugh, we share things. I have a fabulous community and group of friends. But with me having backslid like this a little bit, I feel like I need to really take a breath and really start reconnecting with people and have those deeper, meaningful conversations and, get myself to a better position than I am right now. Because once you realize that you've backslid, then you need to, at least in my opinion, all this is my opinion, so take it for whatever it's worth. In my opinion, once I realized I had backslid, I then had to identify where I needed to essentially get my shit together again. Where am I going to get my ish together again? And I've identified a couple of different areas that over the next few weeks I will be working on to get myself together again. Going back to the gym, reconnecting with people, getting back onto my creative game, just getting stuff done. And that doesn't always mean being productive, but just getting stuff done, talking to people that I love, connecting with people that I need to, and, just overall, go back to planning my trip, being excited about all of that, and really reconnecting with myself again and reminding myself, like, here's where you were not 3 weeks ago. Look how fast it was that you were able to backslide. And again, I want to say that this is, while backsliding is not good at all, it's also human nature. As we heal, we will backslide. And as long as you're able to say, hey, I backslid and now I have to fix it. As long as you're willing to try to fix it, then a backslide, is to be expected and is okay. It is okay. And I'm kind of learning that. You know what I mean? I think we also need to learn how to deal with curveballs better. Myself included. So sorry. But that's kind of what I've been thinking about lately, because the backslide has been real. Because I remember looking at my friends online and saying, this is the last tube of cookie dough I'm buying, because this right here does not help me reach my goals. I used the word goals. This decision that I've made does not help me towards my goals. And the minute I said that was the minute I went, I have to fix it, because nobody is going to fix it for me. I have to fix this. So we work on fixing it. We do a little bit each day. We work on fixing it. And I know my friends are there. And I know the people that love me are there. Because that's just what people that love you do. But, little business. If you guys like the episode, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and find me on TikTok, y'all. Find me on Insta. Find me on social media. Leave me the comments. Subscribe to the channels. All of that good stuff. Because it really does hurt. I mean, it really does help, not hurt. Oh my gosh. It's late and I'm tired. But follow all the channels and, like, comment, subscribe, all of that, because it really does help. I'm gonna go while the getting's good. But guys, thanks so much for listening. And I will see you guys all next time. Have a great week, y'all.